Yeah, so my name's Chad Trull. I'm the founder and CEO of High Five Healthcare. We're based in Birmingham, Alabama. We do business across the Southeast. And we partner with oral surgeons and endodontists and help them become more efficient and better at taking care of patients every day. What comes to mind first is relationships. We got the CEO Todd through relationships in the space, and we're able to grow that relationship. And it's one of the reasons we ended up partnering and working together is because the strategic opportunities we had, not only with working with his IT support group, but also the other leaders in the space and connectivity for our business. Yeah, so we had worked with many different IT partners across the Southeast, across the space. We worked with about 14 different MSP providers at the time, and we're looking for opportunity to consolidate that relationship into one. And so through running a RFP in the space, we were able to meet and sit down, and we really connected with them from a relationship standpoint. And that's really what stood out. And the ability to reach out directly with the CEO anytime I needed anything. Yeah, so I was able to reach out to other folks who are in the space that have jobs similar to me and businesses similar to the one that I run here at High Five. And the reputation, the feedback that I received when I was doing the reference checks came out really good. And I was also able to hear stories where his teams, was able to step up out in the field and create solutions, no pun intended, very quickly to keep the practices going. So that really meant a lot to me. I'd say before I just heard about issues that we were having with IT, and now I'm able to be on the front lines and communicate CEO to CEO with Todd. And so the efficient way to communicate with problems, I think, is different from my experience so far. Yeah, I would say before, like I said, we worked with several different companies, and so I wasn't able to really understand the full relationship between all these different providers and service providers out in the field. And now just having one, I'm able to pick up the phone and have direct communication with the folks that can actually help me solve the problem. Yeah, how it starts is they come in and do a full assessment of your company. And so they give you a baseline of where we're starting at and where we need to go ahead and make investments to prevent, future problems. And so our first order of business was to get our company where it needed to be to move forward on a day-to-day basis. And I think that eliminates surprises, in the future. Yeah, so I think it's, two-way street, right? So obviously they service our practices in our company, which we greatly appreciate. I've also been able to help introduce their management team to other groups and other solutions out in the space. We've been able to collaborate on those together, which has been a lot of fun and opened up doors for both businesses to help us grow and, at the end of the day, be successful. I think it's the response rate. When you make a phone call, you see the response of their team jumping in the field, going to action, resolving and communicating. Those things mean a lot to me as I'm working with my partners, trying to give them the best service I can. I'd say give me a call. I can give you a lot of different scenarios that I've experienced over the years. So I've got a pretty good barometer on what can go wrong and what shouldn't go wrong. And so I think having the right partner like Todd and his team at the solutions team and getting ahead of those problems and spending the money on the infrastructure ahead of time, I think is really important, and knowing who your partner is and what they know that your expectations are of them at your business. I think TST does a lot of stuff outside of IT for me and my business. And so having that relationship, like I said, they know a lot of folks who are in our space and in our industry. And so we're able to collaborate and understand best practices. And I think that brings a lot of value.
Well, Chad, thank you again for taking the time to share your experience. We value your partnership and we look forward to continuing to grow together.
Thank you.